What were people's reactions to Todd's literally just stop being poor statement? Todd Howard asked on air why Bethesda didn't optimize Starfield for PC. We did. You may need to upgrade your PC. Fucking peasant. Maybe if fucking Starfield wasn't $100, Todd, maybe it'd be easier to do that. I do think this is funny though. Is this going to open up an era of Todd slapping back? Is Todd going to retaliate now? I never simp for Bethesda, but it'd be funny if Todd starts sparring with people. It's not broken! It does work! You're lying! Alright, here's some crucial backstory. Here's the deal. Unity is an engine a lot of indie developers use to make games. But recently, Unity has changed their pricing model in such a way where there will be a cost to developers for every install past a certain threshold. So if I install something like Hollow Knight, the company would have to pay a fixed fee to Unity. Lots of indie devs have been up in arms because the added cost would screw over their business models, and since they built their entire games on this engine, they can't exactly pack up and leave. And the effect of all of this comes into play on January 1st. Apparently, I also heard that the current CEO of Unity was at one point, I think the CEO of EA or some sort of high-level position at EA, and he apparently recommended that they implement a feature that lets you pay money during online FPS matchmaking to be able to like reload your gun or something. It's just absolutely crazy. The extent to which our economy is driven by like nickel and diming everyone. I'm starting to get at my limit. But gaming itself is so disgustingly, pathetically money-grubbing as an industry. And this Koucast, welcome to the Koucast, this is going to be existing as a beta podcast. And eventually, once I watch enough self-help videos on YouTube, this will become an alpha podcast. The one thing is, though, that I was thinking about in regards to this is that gamers have literally like a 10-second memory. And so I think people are saying like, oh, Unity has spelled its doom. And I think, do you remember when everyone was really upset at Blizzard and then just went back to buying and playing Blizzard games? Now, it's more like Overwatch 2 being like kind of meh that really makes people turn against Blizzard. Not the fact that they were like, you know, colluding with the CCP to do whatever. They were censoring esports or something. Was that what it was? I think they did that. Something like that. I don't know. And the sexual harassment stuff. And really, at the end of the day, it's the game, like, the product isn't quite good enough, which I think is really the thing that gets gamers heated more than any kind of moral compass, of course. I don't really know how much of an impact this will really have. People said, oh, no, we'll control for this, but apparently it's every install. So people were hypothesizing, if I just downloaded Hollow Knight, uninstalled it, and then downloaded it again, installed it again, uninstalled it, reinstalled it, uninstalled it, reinstalled it, could you rack up like a big number of dollars that the game devs would have to pay Unity or... And they were like, no, of course not. We have ways to know. We know where you live. We know what you're doing right now. We know that you're watching Koubitz's live stream. And we know that you would benefit from becoming a member of the channel by hitting the join button next to the subscribe button. They know everything. They know exactly how many NPCs you kill and exactly what configuration you stack their bodies up in. I know, you know why I know this? Because I got a direct email from Todd Howard, and he told me that the way I play Skyrim was the most disturbing thing he'd ever seen in his life. I had to talk to the FBI. It was a whole thing. But anyways, the point is, Apple has announced a life-saving new feature which requires a monthly service to keep your phone from self-destructing, exploding, and killing you. For just $19.99 a month, you can stabilize your cell phone. Become a gold member, phone-stabilized premium user. We're dedicated, to giving you the highest level of service. I know a lot of you watching me are women. I can tell. YouTube tells me 97% of my audience, women, actually. So I know a lot of you will care about this. Sims 5 is going to be free to download. You know what free means? Free today means f*** you, okay? Free means f*** you, dude. We're going to put a bunch of microtransactions in. We're going to put a bunch of items you can't use. We're going to gray them out. We're going to make the UI terrible. We're going to tease a bunch of crap, hundreds of dollars worth of crap in front of you all the time. Constantly. You will never not be advertised to. You cannot experience, unless you give us $1,000 of microtransactions, you will not be able to experience the tranquility of being absorbed in a game independently for yourself. just to chill. It will be an experience where there will be a billboard constantly in your face every fucking second. Here's the problem, okay? People have to stop buying these things. Otherwise, they're just gonna keep doing it. You know? Like, and I think that the games industry understands that. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna complain about the bugs. They're gonna complain about the microtransactions. They're gonna play about the pre-orders. They're gonna buy it anyway. And the truth, I mean, here's a question, okay? Let's be honest here. Would you ever actually stop buying games because of something a company did? Microtransactions, bugs, censoring people in China. The next Elder Scrolls is coming out. There's 1,000 pre-order deluxe editions. It will have microtransactions. Will you still fucking buy it? For every installation of the game, they will kill 100 Chinese people. At least one slave involved in the packaging of each game. Of which there is no packaging. They're just doing slavery just because they can. Just because they can. They could shove it in your face and you'll buy it anyway. I still play Fallout New Vegas. Oh, classic. The only way they're ever gonna get the hardcore Fallout New Vegas fans to ever pay for another game is by just remaking him. That's the problem. It's like planned obsolescence. They made a game too good. They made a game too good, and now you don't want to play other games. It is only a condition that afflicts a small percentage of millennials and Gen Xers. Like your great-grandma who has still a functioning refrigerator they bought from wherever in, 1948 or something. You know what my least favorite term is, probably? There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Does anyone else absolutely hate this? It's ironically, you know how people are like, oh, carbon footprint was created by the oil industry to try to divert our attention. I feel like in a way, this has got to be created by someone to divert people's attention, to make them feel like they have there's no way that you could ever stop yourself from buying something. You always need to buy things, and you can't stop. Even if they're frivolous things, you must buy them. You know what's absolutely crazy? How is it possible? Let me ask you a question. How is it possible that people are still selling things like Christmas decorations and Halloween decorations and fall decorum? How is it possible? How is there not, a sufficient number of that exists on the earth? How can that possibly be? How can people still need to buy wreaths? How is it plastic Christmas trees? How is that possible? Or plastic pumpkins? Or those little cornucopias? No one is buying new big decorations. Are you sure, Jimbo? Are you sure? Because how the f could there be so much of them? How could they possibly be everywhere if no one is buying them? It's only freshly married, like 25-year-olds or something that are buying these decorations. I don't fucking believe that. Better email my congressperson to propose a law banning Halloween Express. I do think that it's cool that the games industry has started to innovate. Now they're doing like pre-planned obsolescence where they just release a game that doesn't work. You don't even have to wait for it to break. I was reading, this article that I cannot find that somebody wrote, and they were talking about how the attention economy is so saturated, so like oversaturated. Like everybody's trying to get your attention, which is why I've decided to make a podcast. And I guess the thing that's ironic about it is like, presumably you're doing something else maybe while watching this, but I do feel like I do appreciate the fact that I can still kind of express my authentic opinions and you'll still watch, even though there's so many other things that are demanding your attention. So Microsoft and Unity can literally eat a dick. Everybody needs to start being more interesting, all right? We can overpower them together, chat. You just need to grab other people's attentions. You need to do attention-grabbing things. You need to streak in public. You need to start screaming. You need to set fireworks off. Grab everyone's attention. Everybody wake up! I don't know. When was store brand a thing? When did store brand become a thing? No, that's not... No. There's a company called Store Brand. Stop! That's not what I'm asking, Google! Google, you know everything about me and you don't know what I'm asking you! What the I'm so fed up! You know everything about me! You fucking listen to me all the time! You have an entire personality model of me, you don't know what I'm asking you! God damn it! I mean, we kind of talked about this, Rawson, earlier, the attention economy. I mean, I guess you can play games even if you don't like doing it. You can have your attention occupied by things, even if they make you unhappy. That's a considerable amount of social media these days. Yeah. If you're playing a game you genuinely dislike, probably have some other issues you need to work out. But isn't that like all people that play League of Legends? Think about that. Just think about that for a second, okay? It was one of the most popular games, okay? And everyone hates it and hates their life playing it. Think about that. Attention economy, chat. I already talked about last stream how I'm like, man, I don't really want to feel the algorithmic pressure to make a 10 things you didn't know about Starfield video because literally who cares? Even though that's what does well, I don't give a crap, so I don't want to do it. 22 things it doesn't tell you. 22 ways to break your fingers. I hope you enjoyed these edited out segments from the Koucast. Consider clicking on screen to watch the episodes in full if you like, and make sure to stop by future episodes. I'm experimenting with something new right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I hope you do too. If you want to know more of why I'm choosing to do more podcast-focused content right now, check out the live stream entitled Calling Out Starfield Fans and Haters. See you next time.